Good morning, students. Let's head to the rug for our reading lesson of the day. So everyone gather up your things and let's head to the rug. Okay, so this week we're learning about animals. Does anyone remember the question of the week? How do animals help each other? So let's talk about amongst it. Talk to your elbow partner about how animals help each other. I'll give you a couple of seconds to talk. All right, so I think that fish can help other animals find food. Does anyone have any other ideas? Good. So today we're going to be reviewing some of our vocabulary words. We have 5 this week. Do you guys remember any of the 5? I'll help you. They're behavior, beneficial, dominant, endangered, and instinct, which all have to do with animals. So, our first vocabulary word, and I have the little cards, is dominant. So, let's define dominant together. Something that is dominant is the most important or most powerful. Now, let's say that again together. Ready? Something that is dominant is the most important or most powerful. Good job. So here's an example. My left hand is my dominant hand, and I use it to write, which means my left hand is much stronger than my right hand when it comes to writing. Which hand is your dominant hand? I'll let you think about it for a second. Which hand do you write with? That's your dominant hand. So our next word is endangered. So, an endangered animal or plant is in danger of dying out as a group. Let's say it together. An endangered animal or plant is in danger of dying out as a group. So, the example is, many wild animals are endangered because humans have taken away the land the animals need. Some endangered animals live in zoos. How could a zoo help protect an endangered animal? Talk to your neighbor. Come up with at least one idea of how a zoo could help protect an endangered animal. Any ideas? I'll call on Timmy. They help them because they can live in there and they provide food. Good job, Timmy. Our next word is behavior. Behavior is a way of acting. Let's define that again. Ready? Behavior is a way of acting. Our example of the week is, we were on our best behavior during the play to show respect for actors. How is your behavior different if you are at school or at a party? Just think about that in your head for a little bit. The next word is beneficial. So I'll read it and then we're going to read it together. Something that is beneficial is good for you. Ready? Let's say it together. Something that is beneficial is good for you. Living on a protected land is beneficial for many wild animals. What are some foods and beverages that are beneficial to people? Does anyone know? I do. Okay, what's a beneficial food or beverage? Water, because you won't die. Good job. Our next word is instinct. And instinct is something that people or animals can do without thinking about it or learning how to do it. Let's say it again together. Ready? An instinct is something that people or animals can do without thinking about it or learning how to do it. Many animals can find their way home by instinct. Think about other things animals can do without being taught. What can a fish do? Do you think it can, what can a fish do? Let's think. I think a fish can swim away when they're in danger. Yes, good job, Kaylee. Do you think it can do it by instinct? Why or why not? Yes, Kaylee. I think it can do it by instinct because it doesn't want to get eaten. Good job. So, now we're going to open up our book to page 44. And we're moving on to our reading section now. So, I'm going to show you how we can compare and contrast different things within a text. So, on page 44, I'm going to read a section and then we'll talk about it. Okay? So, it can be unsafe to swim alone. What is the chief reason? Danger. A fish can get snapped up, but a fish can hide in a school. So, I read it can be dangerous for a fish to swim alone. I also read when fish swim together, big fish will not bother them. This tells me how swimming alone is different from swimming together. Now let's read the second page. Fish in a school have a neat trick. The fish swim close together. Big fish will not mess with them because they look like one huge fish. So this is one example of how animals help each other. Now we're going to read the whole section together. So turn your book to page 39, and let's read together as a class. Ready? It would be on a projector so they could follow along with me. But I don't have a projector because I'm in my room and that's expensive. So, fish swim in lakes and creeks. Fish swim in deep blue seas or oceans. Let's dive into the water. Let's look at fish. Fish can swim alone. Fish can swim with a partner. A fish can swim in a bunch too. A bunch of fish is called a school. So let's stop and think for a second. Let's think about how we can compare and contrast the ideas we just found out. So, one thing is we learned that fish can swim alone, but fish can also swim with a partner. And those are two things we can compare. A school has lots of fish. They are a team. The fish help each other. They look for food together. Fish eat lots of things. Some fish eat small animals, and some fish eat other fish. It can be unsafe to swim alone. What is the chief reason? Danger. A fish can get snapped up, but a fish can hide in a school. Fish in a school have a neat trick. The fish swim close together. Big fish will not mess with them because they look like one huge fish. This big fish wants to eat, but it stays away. The school looks like a huge fish that may eat him. Fish in a school keep each other safe. A school is a good place for fish to be. The end. Good job. So now we're going to move on to a new part of the lesson. We're going to be learning how to practice using appropriate phrasing. So did you notice on page 41 of the book, it has this little symbol within the text. That's called a comma. So, as we read the passage, I will pause slightly when I come to a comma and when I come to a punctuation mark. Do you guys remember what a punctuation mark is? It's a period or an exclamation point or a question mark. Good job. So, in a comma, so when you see a comma, which let's look at a comma again, right here, it separates ideas in a sentence. So we have to pause slightly. And then when we come to a punctuation mark, that separates an entire sentence because a sentence is a whole idea. So, I'm going to show you, and then we'll do it together. So, this sentence has a comma. I pause slightly when I get to the comma. Ready? Fish can swim in a bunch, too. Did you hear the slight pause? Let's try again. Let's do it together. Ready? A fish can swim in a bunch, too. Good job. So, and then if I were to continue, I would stop at the period because I see there's another mark. So I would say, fish can swim in a bunch, too. A bunch of fish is called a school. So now we're going to reread the passage all together, practicing our appropriate phrasing. So I would have them read the entire book again as an entire class. But since I just read it in front of you, I'm not going to do that. So now, students, you're going to walk back to your chairs, but with a little twist. So everyone stand up. I'm going to say a sentence. And when you hear me pause, we're going to take a step. So if I say the sentence, fish can swim in a bunch, too. I hear the pause, and I take a step. Let's try together. Ready? Fish can swim in a bunch, too. So you would take one step. So every time you hear a pause, I want you to take a step and walk back to your desk. Ready? The first sentence. Do you want to go to the zoo, park, or library? So you should be taking 3 steps. Ready? Your next sentence. I like ham, cheese, and tomato sandwiches. So now you should have taken another 3 steps. We have 1 sentence left. Ready? I need to buy milk, socks, and grapes. And now you should all be at your seats again and sit down. Thank you.